episode of Point Shot. My guest today from the International Order of the Old Bastards is Tony Groff. How you doing, Tony?
Good, Tim. How are you?
As well as could be expected. Based on what's happening in the world right now, how are you doing? Are you essential? Are you working? How are you?
Yes, I am essential. I've been working the whole time. I work up at the Hershey Medical Center, taking care of the fire alarm and BAS stuff. So we've been pretty busy and fortunate to stay working this whole time.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible work. Thank you, man, for what you're doing. I got family up in Hershey, so thank you for doing that work. That's tough. This is strange times right now. I mentioned before you're at the IOOB. What's your chapter number? Is it chapter? Is that the correct way?
Yes, we are chapter 358.
Chapter 358, and you are a great supporter of the quoiting community. So I want to extend thanks to you guys. You put on a few tournaments a year, and you do a tremendous job. Explain the setup you have there at the IOOB to some of these people that maybe haven't been there, because I think we pitch crosswise against where you normally shoot.
Correct. So when we first started having you guys down, we had 4 pits that ran, I'll say, parallel with the length of the yard. And then as the tournaments grew, we dug those out and put in pits that now are across the yard to accommodate the crowd that we get. And I would also like to reciprocate the thanks for you guys coming down and supporting us. That means a lot to us. It helps us pay some of our bigger bills. So we appreciate you guys coming down. You guys are always a pleasure. Behave yourselves, and we always have a good time when you guys are down.
It's nice that you said we behave ourselves. That's good to hear. That's one of the amazing things about this quoiting community is that you get a lot of pretty rough around the edges guys together, throwing steel, maybe have a few beers, and everybody's friendly, and there's very few, if any, incidents.
We actually talk about that quite a bit amongst ourselves, how most guys, you're drinking beers all afternoon. You're competitive at nature, but at the end of the day, there's never really an issue. You may get mad when you lose, and you're mad for about 5 minutes, but then you're sitting there at the pit watching the team that just beat you, wishing them good luck or through the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a great community of camaraderie. And one of the tournaments you have really emphasizes that. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that. It's you help Sean Hirsch as at his location for his Quaters versus Cancer tournament, and you're very generous in your donations that day as well.
Yeah, he actually approached me, and I might misspeak here, but I believe it's been about 6 years ago. He was looking to hold this tournament, and every place he went to wanted a donation or charge him to use their property. And him and I came up with a deal that, we'd give you let him borrow the yard that day, as long as food and stuff was purchased from us. So it's scratching each other's back. And that day, really, we look at it as it's a lot bigger than just the OBs, and it's a lot bigger than just the quoiting community. It's giving back, to say the least.
There's no doubt about that. And that, of the 3 tournaments you run, that may be the biggest turnout. And you mentioned the food. Anytime people mention Old Bastards, that's how the community has abbreviated it. They never say IOOB or International Order, but anytime you mention Old Bastards, like, oh man, the food spread they put out. Who's the guy in your kitchen? Because he does a tremendous job.
There are several people, but usually the main one is Pete Wendell. He's kind of our in-house chef.
I'm gonna toast Pete right now. Good job, Pete, and all the other minions that help Pete out. Those are some of my favorite tournaments. I love coming down there. How about you? Let's talk about you and the game of quoits. How long have you been playing quoits? Where'd you get your start?
I started down there, having you guys down, and then I usually shoot with Bob Shore.
Yeah.
And then him and I started going up to Bob Williams on Tuesday night, and then we just started coming to a couple of the USQA events up at Bethel, and then got you guys to come down to us. And I shoot when I can, but with running it down there, it's kind of hard to do both. So we do try to get to the one. I believe Woody and Mark run the benefit one in New Holland.
Yeah.
Bob Shore and I try to make that one every year to kind of give back a little bit for supporting us.
I got I have a memory. Maybe I'm misremembering because it comes late in the day. But is that you and Bob got your first playoff victory at New Holland? Is that correct?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we were pretty stoked about that one.
Yeah, I remember that because my partner and I had to buy. We were waiting on the winner of your game.
Yeah.
I think it was Bob Bartholomew and Rick Firestone.
Yes. Yeah.
How'd that game go? I think it went 3 games. It looked nip and tuck all the way.
Yeah, it was 3 games, and I believe that the third game went into the win by 2 rule.
Oh, yeah. So it was that tight at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you guys were like super excited when you got to the next pick because it took forever to get your games done, and we're over there waiting, and then, we're ready to go, and you guys came over like, woo, and you're all hot, ready to roll,
Right.
Yeah, that was great, man. I remember that because at one point you and Bob were like something in the Mick, right?
No, that was the one tournament I shot with another member, Sonny, and we went as the Mick and the Spick.
I remember that because I always remember you as Mick. So,
right.
I never associated you with Tony. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it works. That's good, man. So down at the club now, getting back to the IOOB, are you guys aren't open, I assume, but are you open for shooting?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we closed our clubhouse due to the guidelines presented, but we did keep our range open since it is an outdoor activity. So we're kind of waiting until we get into that yellow phase to start opening up again. It looks as though, unfortunately, I don't know how you feel, Tim, but I don't know about any tournaments this year with the group of people number. I don't know if that, I know that dictates some of the things we're looking at doing as far as some of our other events. I don't know if that was tossed around between you guys yet or not.
It has been, yeah. There's a lot of talk, and we don't know that we'll be able to do a large gathering this year, but we have plans to run tournaments. They're just going to take 3 weeks and have to take place at multiple venues. And if you're interested in possibly participating in that, Tony, I'll give you a call after this, maybe tomorrow or something, or later tonight, whatever, and let you know how that's going to work and how you might be able to participate. It won't be a giant, payday like you normally get out of having 50 people show up, because it would only be 8 people.
Right. But yeah, we can talk, off record, if you will. Yeah, we'd be willing to do that as long as it was an open weekend for us. I'm sure we'd be more than happy to do that.
Sure, man. Well, how many guys at your club throw quates? Like, obviously the pits were there, so there is some sort of quating activity taking place.
There isn't a whole lot anymore. Most of those members have either not renewed or unfortunately passed away. There isn't a whole lot of interest internally for quates. Every Friday night, if we're down there, we'll throw the pins in and just shoot back and forth. But there aren't many guys that are into it wholehearted, I guess I should say. Yeah,
I know it's tough, and there's pockets of quaters around. I'd love to see. We've been talking about going to England and play quates, and their game different than ours, but their pub, all related around the pubs, like dart teams are here.
Right.
So
yeah, I've been watching some of the videos of the English quates and how they take 1 or 2 steps and
heave it. Yeah. Well, it's big steel. It's a different setup than ours, but I wish we could, appropriate what they're doing in pubs and get our game into a dart league type setting and have 8 different clubs that have a weekly match, you know what I mean? Where maybe the Moton Fish and Game Club comes up to IOB one week and you're down at Moton the next, you know, like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's something, if that's potentially what could happen, I'm sure I could get, you know, at least 6 guys to be willing to do that once a week or whatever, get together.
Wow, that's a
Because
good
I know
number.
there are times over the summer, the guys that shoot up at Bob Williams on Tuesday nights, they'll sometimes come down to OB's on a Tuesday night and throw.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah, I was up to Bob's once last year. That's a nice setup, and they get a big crowd up there. So I've been talking to Bob about some things. He and I've been trading voice messages. We'll catch up here soon. Well, how about maybe I stepped on your toes with the New Holland tournament, but outside of that tournament, do you have a quating moment or memory that stands out when you think about the game of quates that you say, yeah, I remember this one time, ...
Well, honestly, it would be the New Holland tournament, because Bob and I don't win too many games. So actually, it was New Holland because they didn't take everybody that year or that tournament. And I think we actually made the playoffs, not just making it by signing up and then winning our first game.
Yeah.
So that's tied with the Cancer Quake tournament. That one there, that's special, and that's, even though I don't shoot in it, but just to see everybody come together for a cause bigger than all of us really shows what everybody truly is about, and the caliber of people that are in the quating community.
Yeah, that's awesome for you to point that out. And I always feel bad that you're not playing because you're running the show, I guess, that day. So it's too much to do both.
Yeah, I have just as much fun hanging out, talking to you guys.
It's a pretty
Not
wild
losing.
crew, man. Pretty wild crew.
Yeah.
I got a memory from the IOOB. Maybe you can tell me who this guy is, right? So this is a couple years ago. I'm coming out of the clubhouse during one of the Quake tournaments. Some dude sitting there. He's got a tattoo. This is almost appropriate to the week, right? Because it's Monday was May the 4th. He's got I want to say it was the Death Star tattooed on his leg, or maybe it was Darth Vader or something. I was like, hey man, cool tattoo. I never saw a Star Wars tattoo. And the dude just turned to me and said, I'm all about the dark side. I just said, okay, man. And I went back to my tent. Do you have any idea who that dude is?
I believe his name was Joe.
All right, Joe. Well, I'm going to tip one to Joe because I've told that story probably 100 times, man. Joe, the Death Star guy. I guess he didn't hang around too long, huh?
Nah.
Well, that's good, man. Well, I only have one more question before I hit you with it. Do you have any message you want to send out to the quating community? Anything you want to say?
I'll just say probably what everybody says. Just stay safe, and we'll get through this sooner or later, and we'll be outside enjoying each other's company before you know it. Just got to kind of stay the course.
Yeah, that's good advice. You're right on with that. And I think you took the lead for best beard in point shot. Kyle Kramer had a pretty impressive beard the other day, but you're blowing him away. But you always had a great beard.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. So maybe you've been seeing these and following along. I don't know. Maybe you haven't. But last question is, you can have any celebrity you want, living or dead, come back, play one Quake tournament with you. But you can't take anyone who's already taken. So there's like 18 guys already gone, which I'll read the list if you want. But anyway, who you got?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
The list is only this long. I got all these. There's the list.
I'll say Jack Nicklaus.
Hey, that's a good one. I love that call. Why would you pick Jack Nicklaus?
Just some of the characters he portrays is kind of, I'll say, badassish and a little bit of swagger to him. So I think that would be a good fit.
Yeah.
In the pit across from me.
Yeah, he comes at you with an axe, like in The Shining,
Right.
or some of these others, some of his other movies. That's a great pick. There's a lot of we got some pretty strong men. We were saying before, if we get attacked, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin and Stallone and Eastwood and Bruce Willis and Jesus, and the list goes on and on. I think Jack will fit in with that crew just fine. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate your time. I'm glad we were able to hook up. We tried this last week, didn't work out, but it's good to see your face, man. I hope to see you in real life soon. I'll talk to you this week about that other arrangement. All right.
Yep, thank you for having me, Tim.
Yes, sir. Be good. Stay safe. Sometimes you got to take the point.
That's right.
Adios.